X equals
X
4
I'm not singing.
is equal to negative b minus the square root.
B squared minus 4C. Oh my god.
Well, the choir has nothing to fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the quadratic formula, which I am not going to give to you. If McKay breaks down and gives it to her class, too bad, you're not getting it.
Okay.
So you need to know this. I don't care if you sing it, say it, whatever. But here's the thing. Write it down every time you do a problem. Those of you that don't do any homework may not know it or how to use it. But those of you that do some homework, you've written it down 10, 15 times because you've done 10, 15 problems. You're going to know it. Okay? In the end, it will be given to you on a formula sheet.
The end.
But this is not the end. This is the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe on a cum. Maybe in a room. Maybe on a wall.
It's going to be like, on the outer shirt. Yeah, already done that outer shirt.
Maybe on a shirt.
Walks around.
Maybe actually I have a thing. So this solves, right? This solves ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So you need a quadratic in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So if it isn't in that form, you got to get it in that form. And then you just substitute in. So we'll do a few examples. And if you stay reasonably quiet, then we won't check one of them. So x squared So here's an example. It's a nice straightforward. It leads with a single x squared. It doesn't factor. There are no two numbers that multiply to 40 and add up to 14 because factoring should be your go-to solution method, right? Because it's easy, right? I mean, if you notice it. If it factors and you don't notice it, then use the quadratic formula, right? I mean, there's a certain amount of time you want to spend figuring out does this factor, after which point you cut your losses and just say, maybe it does, but I'm just going to use the quadratic formula because I know I will get the answer in a certain amount of time. Okay, so we write out the formula. Oh, first we identify. What's A? 1. What's B? And what's C? Okay. You don't have to. I don't care what you do. It says determine, I expect to see work. If I see no work and just an answer, you maybe get 1 mark, maybe get half mark, maybe get no mark. So the answer is not it, right? This is not multiple choice. Multiple choice, the answer is it. Nobody cares how you did it, okay? But if it's not, if it says determined, then your work is what counts, more so than your answer. If you get the wrong answer, maybe you lose a half mark. Okay, x is equal to negative b, so negative 14, plus or minus the square root of 14 squared minus 4 times 1 times 40. All over 2 times 1. And so square root, you could just work this out at this point. So what's that? 196 minus 36. Ah, it did factor. So much for you guys. So x is negative 14 plus or minus 6 over 2. Now, if you have two nice answers, then you should state them both, right? Not just leave it in that form. So we get, if it's a radical, then you can just leave it in that form. So we get negative 14 plus 6 over 2, which is negative 4. And we get negative 14 minus 6 over 2, which is negative 10. Which means that the actual roots were x plus 4 and x plus 10, so apparently there are two numbers that do multiply to 40 and add to 14. Not that I would.
You lied to us.
I know, but you didn't catch me in it. Okay?
Well, you were going to do it either way,
so we could have factored this we should have factored this, but it's not a big deal, right? So I didn't factor it. It cost me time.
It cost you 5 minutes.
I don't think we spent 5 minutes because.
4.
Yeah, I doubt it. We want to scrub back and see.
Yeah, let's go back and see.
No, let's.
Time.
Okay, x squared minus 5x. No, sorry, x squared minus 5 is equal to 10x. So this requires some rearrangement before we can do anything, which will give us what?
X squared minus 10x.
Okay, does that factor?
No.
No, the only thing that multiplies to 5 is 1 and 5, and those will get you a 4 or a 6 and not a 10. Okay, I'm just going to identify my A, B, and C. You don't have to do that, right? I just like doing it. It just, keeps things straight.
Also, we don't get dock marks if we don't do that. Yeah.
No, here, I'll show you what I want. Minimum amount of work. Got to show that. Okay, so it's a minimum amount of work. You got to show that. You can go from here to here. For me, I would write it, but that's just me because the more I write a formula, the better I know it. I don't write the wrong formula. I would take it off a formula sheet if I had one. In this case, you might just be humming Pop Goes the Weasel to yourself. But important things to remember. What's an important thing to remember or not do? Yes, Mohi.
Sometimes there may be imaginary numbers under the roots.
Imagine that. Is this the case here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know, Bert. The word is 100.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The negative is in the bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the most common mistake people make is this.
Oh, yeah. No, you shouldn't.
You square a negative and get a negative.
Too good.
Okay? That doesn't happen. So, here's the thing to do. If you're squaring this in your head, just drop the negative. If you're squaring it on your calculator, just drop the negative. Just square the absolute value of b, right? Just take, because it's going to end up, b squared must always be positive.
Alright.
Okay? It will never be negative.
I squared.
You could go from there to there, I guess.
Can we just leave it at that because there's no other way?
No, what's 120?
No. Right, is. Damn it, I don't
4 times 30. What's perfect square? It goes in 120. Yeah, 36, sure.
10.95.
4. Anything else?
Oh, that's what you want. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You don't end up there, you don't get full marks. Okay? So, want to see that? Probably I want to see this. And then this. Okay, so I want to see you simplifying the radical and then canceling down. Whether it cancels out or not, you're still going to always simplify the radical, right? So even if that had been like 3 root something, where the 3 wouldn't cancel out, you'd still do it. You have to simplify the radical. Okay, questions? Concerns? Comments?
When you make a mistake while reporting, check to see if
Okay, what do we do? Move everything to one side. So it becomes the factor. I'll give you some time to think about it.
Hold on, one.
I don't like right now.
It has to be 11.
Oh my gosh, what?
No,
Yeah, I like that one. I memorized it.
No, but you know what is negative?
What memorized it?
Does it factor?
I know, I said we have factor.
Anyways, it's use of
Yes, no, wait for an answer.
I don't care.
Sound like my last class. Mohit, does it factor? Okay, let's rewind this. Mohit, does it factor? Thank you.
Don't be wins.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Who asked you?
Me.
Who gave you permission to talk?
Everybody.
No, nobody let you talk. Okay, that's not what What are you? So funny. Minus 40.
Oh, we got 144 minus 132. What?
Isn't C equal to negative 11?
Okay, what do we got? 144 plus 132. 276 maybe. Over
276.
All right. All right. You got 69. I just figured it'd be 60. You got to be 4. You said 69, so I thought 69 times what's going to give me 276. Okay. 4 seemed reasonable. Okay. Then being as they're all even, then you divide everything by 2, right? Simplify. I don't know. Really, do we need to do any more? Yeah, it does. So you could. No, it's just when you don't read it, then it repeats the. Although I read it on my phone, so I didn't need to look in here. You could check this by putting it in left side, right side, right? But we really don't want to have to square that because it ends up as like 36 plus 12 root 69 over plus 69 over 9, right? And then, you know, you'd end up with the same. If you wanted to check this, you could take this, store it in your calculator as a particular, so you could do this here, calculator. If you wanted to, right? Which you would only do at the end of a test anyways. But, all right, so we could take 6 plus root 69 divided by 3. And I'm going to store that in A. Where's A? There. So store in A. Hit enter. Interesting. How do you do that? I just did that. Okay, so now I want to go 3 times A squared, because that's the left side. And I want to go 12A minus 11, because that's the right side. Oh, plus 11, sorry. Right. plus 11. And then these two are the same, so I know it's right. Now, if I want to do the other root, then I can go back up here and one more and change that to a minus. You know, divide by 3. That's my other root. Store it in A. Go 3a squared and go 12a plus 11. And huzzah, they're the same, right? Now that's something you do at the end of a test. That is not something you do in the middle. I didn't finish the test, it was too long. Yeah, because you were going running off and doing this all the time. Okay? So that's something you do at the end of a test. If you want to check answers, then you can do that. Right? Not in the middle. Okay, done.